everyone, this is PK Entertainment and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, take an extended look at the trailer and discuss as to whether it will be the best superhero movie of 2022. Now there'll likely be spoilers within this video for most of the films within the Marvel Cinematic Universe and also the Disney Plus shows as well, so just beware when going into this overall video. Now of course, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is due to be the 28th film within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is of course a sequel to the long-standing first film titled Doctor Strange, which was a box office success back in 2016, grossing over 677 million at the box office. Now overall, I really liked the film. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch in the lead role was brilliant, and overall he's really become one of the mainstay lead characters within the Marvel Cinematic Universe following the departures of both Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, having appeared since in Avengers Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok, and of course most recently Spider-Man No Way Home. Now the second Doctor Strange film will release in May 2022 and will focus on following the events of Spider-Man No Way Home and of course the Loki season finale, where we saw the introduction of the multiverse within the MCU, and this sequel will deal with Doctor Strange opening the multiverse and now having to deal with all of the ramifications following that event. Now the first trailer did debut as the second end credits scene for Spider-Man No Way Home, and I didn't cover it back then because I thought I'd wait until they released a HD version online before reviewing it, and of course they've recently done that, which is why I'm going through it now. And after watching it following No Way Home, I have to say I'm super hyped for this movie, where really it seems going to go even more crazy in terms of the supernatural, the horror, the multiverse, all of those weird and bizarre fantasy elements that we really should get for a Doctor Strange movie. The effects look absolutely spectacular and amazing, and we certainly got a lot of reveals and surprises throughout the first trailer. We started off the opening scenes with some narration referring to the opening spell that Doctor Strange cast from Spider-Man No Way Home. And overall, we have to ask, will Spider-Man actually make an appearance within Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? Now, we do know that there has been some extensive reshoots, which will involve some more cameos, so I wouldn't be overall surprised if we saw an appearance from Spider-Man within this movie overall. It overall makes sense. And not only will it tie to the story of this sequel, but it will also perhaps give some future implications as to where both Sony and Marvel will take Spider-Man going forward. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Spider-Man make some form of appearance within this film. We then get this great shot where Doctor Strange walks outside to a destroyed city landscape, and overall it looks absolutely fantastic. It's probably one of the many numerous nightmare or parallel universe visions that we will see throughout this film, but it still looks great, and it looks a bit scary as well. We see the city completely destroyed on here. This greyish, despondent tone very much gives vibes of the Man of Steel destruction levels, but it looks fantastic, and Cumberbatch looks great again in the costume overall. And to be fair, Marvel for the most part does a good job in visualising the overall character's look and sticking as close to the source material, and certainly their addition of Doctor Strange is one of the best examples of this. We then get a wedding scene between Doctor Strange and Christine, who was played by Rachel McAdams from the first film, and to be honest, I think her role was really underutilised. I was actually doubting as to whether she would actually return in any sequel because her character really didn't go anywhere. So I would hope, because I think Rachel McAdams is a good actress, that she would have a bit more of an involved role than just being part of a dream sequence, but we will wait and see on here. And as I mentioned, this is probably another dream alternate reality sequence, and hopefully we get more context for Rachel McAdams' character. We then have the next sequence where we see the reveal of Miss America Chavez, a character from the comics. Now her ability is that she can open up portals into realities like Doctor Strange, so seemingly she'll fit right into the world and narrative of this universe that they're building here. Now she is a lesbian character and was Marvel Comics' first Latin American LGBTQ character to get a lead series. Now following the recent mixed receptions from Eternals, it would serve the character far better and the movie if they were much more focused on her abilities and her role within the story and her relationship with Doctor Strange. Overall, I felt Marvel was very ill-advised in the heavily promotion of diversity and representation surrounding the Phase 4 film so far, and I think that would actually build up some antagonism against the character of Miss America Chavez during her introduction, even before she's had a chance to prove herself. So hopefully Marvel will learn their mistakes in previous promotion of films and just give Miss America Chavez time to shine within the role. We then get this next shot where somebody is spinning around in a blue star portal opening. So is this Doctor Strange falling through one of Chavez's portals? Will we get an initial battle or face-off between the two, as is so case with a lot of standard storytelling within superhero stories? Whenever characters see each other for the first time, there's an initial fight between the two. This has gone all the way through the MCU, if you remember, from the first Avengers films. So will we see an initial face-off between the two before Chavez initially joins Doctor Strange in the battle? We will wait and see overall. But this is a very stunning shot that we see on screen anyway. Now, the big scene that got a lot of cheers within the cinema when watching Spider-Man No Way Home was, of course, the return of Wanda. Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal has now become a more prominent member of the universe after appearing first in Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, and, of course, her own story within WandaVision. Now, in this scene, Doctor Strange asks her for her assistance in dealing with the multiverse. Now, of course, this makes complete sense, given that Wanda very much created her own pocket universe in WandaVision. And it's long been speculated that perhaps Wanda might be the overall villain within this story. This would further the allusions to her more darker side involving the chaos magic, and we very much saw that in the end credit scene of WandaVision, where she looked absolutely fantastic in much more of her darker astral projection. We saw, of course, earlier on within WandaVision, for the first time, her walking out in a more crimson costume, which is much more closer to the source material look of the Scarlet Witch. We later on in the trailer get further shots where she's levitating above some sort of candles in a circular shape here, and once again Elizabeth Olsen looks absolutely great, further developing her costume to get closer to the original look. And obviously she's going to be a very key component and character without this story, perhaps even challenging Doctor Strange in terms of overall power. So it'll be very exciting to see where they take the character going forward, and if this proves to be very successful, will we out and out get a live action movie involving Wanda? So a lot of exciting prospects, and like I said, I very much enjoy Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal of the character. Now we then get another great shot where we see Doctor Strange opening up a vault door into a wall, and when he opens the door, very much float into an open space. It looks like a lot of these temples which have been broken. So this is indeed back to another historical era in time, where we see the entrance falling away and we see all of these collapsed buildings opening up in space. It's an absolute fantastic visual. We also see the return of Mordor, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, this time with his longer dreadlocks. And if you remember, he worked with Doctor Strange in the first movie, very much involved in all of his training and preparation. And at the end, he was very much against sorcerers who was breaking the rules of magic. This is following his discovery of the dark past of the Ancient One. So will we see a further development of Mordor and overall his role as a villain within the Doctor Strange universe? I felt overall that Chiwetel Ejiofor had very good chemistry with Benedict Cumberbatch in the first film. And we see there's further hints here where he's swinging a sword at Doctor Strange, who's handcuffed at some point. So very much we're going to revisit the antagonism between the two. And like I said, will Mordor eventually be a more established villain, not only within the Doctor Strange films, or will they diversify his role for other movies and series within the MCU? So a lot of potential for this character in long run. We get some more great shots of Doctor Strange exhibiting these red icons. Again here, it looks absolutely fantastic as he's conjuring up more spells. We get another vivid shot where he shoots out, it looks like a twin dragon or a twin serpent. Now, I think this was actually a new shot, which was different from the one that we saw in the end credits after No Way Home, but it still looks fantastic overall. It looks very similar to the aesthetic that what we saw in the Dragons from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So will we get any appearances from other characters from that movie in this film as well? So it all makes sense because, again, you're tying back to the whole magic and the supernatural. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw some allusion to Shang-Chi as well. We get another vivid shot here where we see what looks to be like a tentacle-eyed monster lifting the bus and throwing it, and then we see Doctor Strange slicing the bus in half with his portal energy. Absolutely fantastic. Effects look really bright and vivid and colourful and energetic on here. Now, I don't know who this monster character is, but again, it looks absolutely great. This may be one of several monsters that are causing absolute havoc within the city, and Doctor Strange has got to track them down. We then get another big revelation shot here, where it looks very much like we're going into what is similar to the Citadel of Kang, if you remember from the season finale of Loki, where we saw Loki and Sylvie very much go into the overall creation of the multiverse, and that's looks like a similar location as what we've got on here, and where we see Doctor Strange walking across here, very visually stunning, and it's kind of blue-grey haven, like contrast shot on here, very good. And of course, this scene plays out to the big money shot of the trailer, where we see the evil dark Doctor Strange stating that things just got out of hand. Looks absolutely fantastic, looks very dark, intense and scary. Now, there's been very much speculation as to what this iteration of Doctor Strange is. Is it Mephisto? Is it Nightmare? Is it the version that we saw from the What If series, where we had very much of a darker alternative Doctor Strange? Will this actually be the overall villain of the entire piece of the opening of the multiverse? We will wait and see, but it looks absolutely fantastic, and again, just opens up all sorts of possibilities throughout this film. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, I'm actually super hyped for this film, and I actually do believe that it has potential to be the best superhero film of 2022. It's the most MCU of Phase 4 so far that has me the most excited, just because of the endless possibilities that we can take with the character. There's huge potential here to really break out of the typical Marvel formula, because we're dealing with the magic and the supernatural, so there are far less rules that the movie will be constrained by. And of course, because it's being directed by Sam Raimi, who already is well adept in making comic book films, as what we saw with his Spider-Man films and also with Darkman, more particularly with Liam Neeson back in 1990, which is a hugely underrated film. And again, with that film, he dealt far more in terms of the psychosis and the horror elements as well. So if he can fuse all of those attributes into this sequel here, we could be truly out for something special. This really looks as if it could be an outstanding and distinctive entry within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So when we overall look at what we're going to get in terms of the superhero films in 2022, of course, we look at the Batman, Matt Reeves' version of the reboot of the character starring Robert Pattinson. We have Black Adam starring Dwayne Johnson. We have the sequel, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, starring Jason Momoa. We have Morbius, which will indeed be the first superhero movie coming out in January 2022. We have Thor: Love and Thunder, the fourth film within the Thor franchise. We have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, coming out around about November 2022. And of course, we have The Flash coming out in, I believe, November 2022 as well. So when I look at all of those films on that list for 2022, I have to be honest, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is the one that I'm excited about the most. I think there's more scope here. I think there's more potential here, more creativeness and imagination out of all of the other comic book films. And as opposed to Spider-Man No Way Home, all of the more multiverse machinations are going to be far more fitting for Doctor Strange this time round. So we won't be questioned as such as many loopholes or plot holes in terms of the constructs of the Multiverse of Madness, as long as they pull together the story. And of course, with Benedict Cumberbatch in lead role along with a fine cast, that's why I firmly believe that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will overall be 2022's best superhero movie. So here's my overall thoughts and feelings when looking at the overall trailer and footage for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and whether it will overall become 2022's best comic book movie overall. Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you think it overall compares to the other movies that are slated for release in 2022? If you disagree with me that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be the best superhero film of 2022, let me know what your choice is. What film are you most excited for next year? And if so, why? Why is your choice overall going to be the best comic book movie of 2022? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.